Hello, and welcome back. Okay, so Hero wanted to come over to Brady's house, little Sunny Brady. But first we have to go to iFixit and get some flowers. So I'm gonna do that first. Hello. Hello, kitty. I'm meeting up with someone, but they're late. Don't tell me I've been stood up. After I just talked about getting stood up, dang. Okay, so iFixit. Not iFixit, just fix it. All right. Flowers. We need flowers, so this should be in the back. Or maybe we just go buy them up front. Yes, it would seem so. Before I forget, here are some money for Mom's flowers. You didn't think I would let you pay for it, did you? Kel, take inspiration. Don't be bumming so much cash from me. You got $10 from Hero. Wow. All right, we got some flowers. Mom's gonna love these flowers. Let's drop them off at my place, Brady. Okay. I wonder if there's any dialogue here. This place is kind of small, but it has a lot of old, rare collectibles. Can we talk to her? Yo, champs. Just going on a whim here, but would you be interested in buying my last pet rock? $25. Yeah, I'll do 10. I'll take 10. Take the pet rock. That's an easy cop. Oh, hold on a sec, Brady. Is that a pet rock you just bought? Wow, I don't believe it. This is really strange since we haven't played since we were kids. But it just so happens that I have mine too. Right here. Such a weird coincidence, huh? Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we battle with our pet rocks? Still remember how to play, right? No. Don't worry. Even if you don't, it's really easy to catch on. You'll get it in no time. Now let's clash. Are you ready to clash? Yes. Pet rocks. Oh, okay. So rock, paper, scissors. I guess I'm gonna go rock. Oh, this is riveting. Let's go scissors. Well, how come his rock is Pluto? His rock is like all muscled up. Okay, I'm gonna go paper. My rock is like a measly sprout mole. Does he just do rock every time? Is he one of those people? He's just gonna get papered to death, isn't he? He just plays rock! Oh shoot, I lost. I guess I'm pretty rusty. You were always the one who was good at video games anyways. I guess you're the same old Brady after all. I know it's been a while, so let me give you a refresher. Pet Rocks is a game where you and your pets team up and battle, clash. If you wear your pet rock as a charm, you can find other players with pet rocks and challenge them. From what I hear, the reigning champ lives somewhere around here, but no one knows what they look like. Kind of mysterious, huh? Who knows? Maybe we'll get to meet them one day. I bet it's Hero. I bet Hero's got like a sick pet rock fucking streak. Any reflections about the park, Hero? What do you think the state of it? Oh, there's Sunny and Aubrey sitting together. I know that like Kel, Aubrey dynamic gets a lot of attention, but I really want to know what she thinks about Sunny. Which I guess, using the powers of therapeutic deduction, I kind of already know what she thinks about Sunny. because I know what she thinks about Kel. She's been contentious with Kel because of how direct he's been with like challenging her on who she is and who she's turned into, and she's quite defensive about all of that. Her judgment of Kel seems to be that like he has no right to question how she feels. I think she sees like how emotionally stable he appears and just assumes that he isn't as affected by Mari's death, or that he's moved on too quickly and he's not taking it seriously. I think she feels like there's still a lot to say and a lot that she hasn't dealt with. And if people are like Kel sort of going on and living their life, that's like a bad thing. I think she feels like there should be more visible pain in him, which is why she's so defensive and like kind of antagonistic specifically towards him. I think she sees Sunny and probably relates a little more to him because he changed a lot as well. He's completely shut down from how she knew him. He became a recluse. I think that's also why she targets Basil, because maybe she pairs Kel and Basil as like, you know, the pair of them that just sort of moved on, you know. And she said Basil did something. We don't know what Basil did. So maybe she's reserving judgment a little bit towards Sunny because she can visibly see the marks of trauma on him in a way that it's like harder to see for Kel, because he's doing a very good job of like sort of folding his emotions behind getting into different outlets in life to cope with things. Like I said, he sort of copes with initiative, going closer to the emotions that you're feeling, finding these outlets to express things or offload things and making new friends and that sort of thing. If he feels an empty space in his life from losing Mari, he immediately leapt to fill it, which has helped him. But I think Aubrey probably sees that as like, oh, so she wasn't that important to you then if you just were able to fill this hole that I can't automatically. Which is not the case. I don't think that filling that space has like cured Kel of any grief. It's just a different coping style than someone like Hero or Sunny, which is coping with avoidance, withdrawing from the emotions, like staying away from places that remind them of the trauma. Not to say that like that's the whole coping style. I think that what Hero said about moving to a new place being good for Sunny shows a lot of initiative. I think that like coping with avoidance through his emotions, probably. However, he coped with initiative in like going off to college and, you know, meeting new people presumably, and like kind of pushing into some new dimensions of self. So it's not a case of like, you know, one of those styles is good or bad. Coping with avoidance is like totally fine a lot of the time. You know, Captain Spaceboy, for example, great opportunity to cope with avoidance, to get away from Sweetheart. Okay, not with initiative. Don't go closer to the problem. That was not a good strategy, right? You should avoid things that are potentially harmful for you. Cope with avoidance around people who do drugs. Cope with avoidance around dangerous children who carry lethal weapons. Don't cope with initiative. Cope with initiative when you have a situation to deal with a close friend or partner or something, right? Don't cope with avoidance in that case. That's, you know, silent treatment and all kinds of stuff. So it's like different needs for different stressors, obviously. It just comes down to, you know, is this the choice of coping style a healthy one? Seems like the initiative-based style for Kel was pretty healthy. You know, he seems to be a pretty emotionally robust child. And in a sense, Aubrey has like, you know, done some initiative coping with like going out and finding a new peer network. I think the one she chose is kind of shitty though. She's taken initiative to like change her appearance, and I think that's probably been good for her in a sense. But when it's paired with this like, you know, defiance to status quo and association with like, you know, these losers and potentially picking up violence, you know, like maybe it's not the best kind of initiative. So not to say like initiative good, avoidance bad. Just depends on what the intention is and what the result is. Clearly, Sunny coping intensely with avoidance has led to a very insular and reclusive lifestyle that is pretty bad for him, I would say. But maybe that's why Aubrey is sort of like has less negative things to say about him so far, at least. I think she can see visibly the marks of trauma on him in a way that it's harder to see for Kel. All right, let's give the flowers to Ma. Looks like it's getting pretty late. We should probably head to your house right after this. That sound like a good plan? Yes. Oh. Where's Mom? Probably with the baby. Yes. Hey, Mom, I got you some flowers. Hero's he's always up for a little dazzle and sparkle. Are these from me? They're beautiful. Thank you. Hero, you're such a charmer, just like your old man. I'm sorry for overreacting earlier. I know Brady is moving away soon. Try your best to keep in touch. Friends are harder to make the older you get. Shit, ain't that the fucking truth? Mom, that's so depressing. We'll be fine. Yes, I'm sure you will be. Take care, Brady. Know that you'll always have a home here. Yeah, definitely not going to get into an analysis on why it's harder to make friends as you get older, because I have nothing comprehensive to say, because I don't know how you do it. I think it's just easier to make them when you're at school or college, because you're constantly in environments where you're likely to run into other people with shared interests and values, and you don't sort of naturally get that in workplaces, and you just sort of have to put yourself in more situations than those you'll run into naturally. You have to cope with initiative, which in this case is much harder because you have to sort of put yourself out there. Like I said, I'm not going to get into that one. Keep in touch. And yeah, whatever. Thanks, Ma. That depressing little dose of reality. Oh, look at that. It's evening. Wow. It just hit me. It's been so long since we've been inside your house, even though we live right next door. Time really flies, huh? Yeah, it sure does. Let's go inside. After you, Brady. Got a little save point there. Whoa, this place is cleaned out. Your house feels a lot bigger now that nothing's here. There used to be a couch here where we'd watch TV. We'd all come over every weekend and watch cartoons in the morning. Yeah, and the stain from that one time I spilled my orange Joe. Mari got so mad at me. Well, that's because her cat stepped in it and walked all over the house. Yeah. Huh. Man, it looks like it's getting too dark to go see the treehouse. That's okay. Maybe we can come back tomorrow. Wait, I have an idea. What if we just stay over for the night? It's going to be our last time in the house forever, right? And when will be the next time we can spend the night with Brady like this? I'd love to, but Mom's not going to be too happy about it. She'll be fine. I'm tired of waking up at night because of Sally's crying anyways. You're going to wash dishes with Mom for an entire week, aren't you? You deserve this. Well, that's true. That'd probably be fine. We live right next door, so I'll only be a walk away. Okay. I guess they're staying the night. Looks like you still have some chores to do before moving away, Brady. Don't worry, I can handle it. I never know what to do with myself in the mornings anyways. Just think of it as a parting gift. Wow. Thankfully, I didn't leave my pristine blade out. That might be an uncomfortable conversation. I remember this hallway. The closet was to the left, and the piano room was to the right. I wonder if the piano's still there. I'll go on ahead and see. Don't judge me too hard. I haven't practiced in a while. There really isn't anything he can't do. Show off. Dang! My boy is always outshined. It's okay, Kel. Like I said, you're going to be very independent and very emotionally stable as an adult middle child someday. I guess I still got it. Hey, Brady, that reminds me. Do you still play the violin? Oh, it's not here. Guess you already packed it up. There was this song you used to play with Mari. It still gets stuck in my head sometimes, but I don't remember what it was called. You two would play it over and over. We'd even hear it from our house sometimes. What was it again? Well, I don't think little Sunny Brady talks. Is the violin in one of these boxes? Man, all of a sudden, I'm getting really sleepy. Maybe we should call it a night. Sounds good to me. I have to get up early for my morning jog anyways. He even goes running. I love Hero. So where should we sleep? Probably somewhere in your room, right? I remember you used to hate sleeping alone. Yeah, that sounds fun. We can sleep on the floor if anything. Let's go find some blankets. Wait for me, Cal. Grand piano. The word Omori is etched across the center. What? Is that like the name of the piano manufacturer or something? Is that where Sunny got the idea? Why? 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 Look at that. They already got a little tent fort. A bed fort. Hope you don't mind. This was all Kel's idea. I had nothing to do with it. By the way, Hero, Brady and I got you a gift. Kel gave Hero's gift to Hero. It's Papa Chip's Chip Off the Old Block cookbook. Do you remember this? Of course I do. Man, I remember when I wanted to be a cook. It seems so silly now. Hey, you were pretty good at it. And you can still be a cook, Hero. It's okay. I don't have time for that anymore. But you really like to cook, don't you? And people have to eat, right? So, like, why not? I don't think it works that way, Kel. Well, it's interesting that he's like the cook / healer in Headspace. Clearly that was also a thing for Sunny. That he thought highly of that quality of heroes. He's such a fast sleeper. Always been that way, I guess. Thanks for letting us sleep over, Brady. I bet it's been pretty hard on this empty house, especially without Mari. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you more. Everything feels so different now, but it seems like you've pretty much stayed the same. It's kind of relieving, to be honest. So this really is like not totally abnormal presentation for Sunny. Like limited affect. It's really nice to see you again. I just wish Aubrey and Basil could be here too. Anyway, sorry for ranting. It's getting late. I'll probably head to sleep soon too. Good night, Brady. I'll talk to you in the morning. Oh, I can explore the house a little bit still. What the fuck? What is that? Was that just like a... Yeah, what the fuck? This must be like, Mari's ghost or something. Or like Sunny's... We know Sunny is having some hallucinations and delusions. I mean, I think it's different than seeing the kids in the park or, you know, little flashback sequences of Aubrey and us in the store and whatever. Those to me seem like narrative flares to represent sentimentality more so than hallucinations. That to me looked like a hallucination. The difference between a hallucination and a delusion. Hallucination is like that. If you see it in the world, if you hear something and it's actually auditory in the environment, that's hallucination. Auditory, visual, sensory. Delusions are internal. So when you're doing diagnostic interviewing and someone says like, I'm hearing voices, you want to know if they hear it sort of spatially, like I hear it literally over there, or if I hear it in my head, then it's a delusion. It's not a hallucination. And a delusion is, it's my thoughts that are just being sort of coded in my mind as someone else's voice, but it is literally my thoughts. And it's really tough to work with delusional disorder because you can't really convince someone of that. And it's hard to even sensitively approach that subject because the nature of the delusion is that it's like very convincing that like I'm hearing someone else's voice. And you feel like, you know, kind of bad by trying to suggest that like that's just your thoughts that you're hearing in another voice and you're cognitively having a hard time making the difference. But that's what's going on. Many times there's an invasive quality to it, like, you know, it's someone's voice who is like getting into my head. And like, it's not really that comforting to say that's just your thoughts that are being distorted that way. Because it's not like that's much better. Then it feels like my thoughts are out of my control. You also don't like really want to just say like, oh, you're hallucinating that voice over there. People are pretty aware of how that sounds. Like I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing things that they know that it sounds kind of abnormal. And so if you just ask them like, oh, are you hallucinating anything? They often won't tell you. Yes, I'm hallucinating. Because again, they're not, to them, it's not an hallucination. It's a real perceptive thing. So it's much kinder and much more likely to get real diagnostic criteria from asking, you know, did you ever see anything that you like couldn't explain? Especially for a kid, right? Like Sunny. I don't think it would be a very like helpful or productive diagnostic interview to say like, hey, have you ever hallucinated, you know, your sister's ghost in the mirror? Like he's just not this one, it could trigger him. And it's not really like he's not just gonna say, yeah, you know, whatever. It's very unlikely. So you want to ask something like, how does your sister show up in your life now? Right? Um, because you could very well be asking something about, you know, where you most remember her, like Does she come up in certain conversations? Is she a source of inspiration for you? Like, you could be leaning into, common abstract thought there to say, like, yeah, she shows up in my life as a source of inspiration. Great. Someone might also say, yeah, I see her in the mirror sometimes. And you don't want to launch on that and to be like, oh, you're hallucinating her ghost. Like, you just don't. That's not how it goes. Okay, it's not going to help either. It would be super weird and off-putting. I would ask him something more so like, um, and how often does that happen? Well, only sometimes. Sometimes when I look in the mirror, she's there, right? Sometimes she's not. What's it like for you when you see her? Well, she seems to be in pain. That wasn't like just that wasn't a peaceful image. She seems to be in pain. And what sort of things does this bring up for you emotionally? Well, I feel really sad when I see that, when I see her in pain. It upsets me. I'm scared. You're sort of working towards the universal values of emotional language and experience. And you don't, it's not really necessary to work out like the details of the hallucination at least in my experience, right? Like, I do not commonly treat um, complex disorders like that. It's more so a comorbid thing with other things that I treat, like depression and anxiety and substance use. Sometimes there is, episodes of psychosis and delusion and hallucination, and you can have psychotic presentation with some depression, even, which is I think what Sunny's going through. Likely some mix of major depression and post traumatic stress disorder with psychotic episodes. And so that's usually more so what I'm faced with is the psychosis is episodic and consequential to the other stuff that we're dealing with, but I'm more focused on like the emotional outcomes than working out the particulars of the hallucinations, right? But I just thought that to include that as far as like what kind of conversation would I be having with Sunny if he had this experience and he talked about it. Those are hallucinations, seeing Mari in the mirror. Headspace is a delusion. It's something happening inside his head. They can both cause lots of distress. They are both extremely inhibiting to someone like Sunny in making the difference between what's real and what's not, especially if he's having both of them. So, yeah, pretty rough time for Sunny. Right. Okay. That to me is more clearly like hallucination. Doesn't want to go there. Doesn't want to go there. We go outside? No. What the heck? The heck was that? Okay, well I guess we're just going back to bed then. Would you like to go to sleep? Yes. White space. Oh. Wait a second. We just skipped right through white space. What the fuck? The door's locked. Okay, fuck. Guess we couldn't go into white space. To me, that visual... I mean, I thought we learned from Daddy Longlegs that Amori's not, like, really aware of Sunny's world. But maybe that's starting to change. I do think that, coming back to my discussion on, like, Sunny having Omori as a part of him that is the manifestation of his avoidance coping, I don't think he has a hostile relationship with Sunny necessarily. Didn't seem like that. I think maybe Omori feels like, or is starting to feel like, Sunny is so in pain that if he were to go away and live as Omori, that this would be a good thing for both of them. Not like I want to destroy Sunny, but like he sees this as a way of healing for him. You can come live in Headspace. Everything's fine here. All of our friends are here. Our snake mom has um I was gonna say some money for us, but this time they've got absolutely nothing at all. Something's different about Headspace this time. It's not typical that we're alone, for one. Oh, there's Mari. Oh, Mari, you're here. I'm so glad you found me. Cal, Aubrey, Hero, and all of the children are gone. There's a thick fog enveloping the entire forest. Everywhere except here. Maybe our friends are somewhere across the river. Let's find them together. Do you want to join me? Yes. Thanks, little brother. I knew I could count on you. I'll keep you company so you're not alone. I know you really hate that. What is going on now? Steady your heartbeat. Don't be afraid. It's not as scary as you think. So it's Mari talking to us in the nightmare moments, of course. No longer afraid of drowning. Okay. Guess we're swimming across. Hey, who's that? Is that Kel? Amori, I'm so proud of you. You swim all the way here, even though you've always been terrified of water. But there's still one big thing you're afraid of, isn't there? Something a little bit harder to overcome. I do really like the idea that preserved in the prism of Headspace is this version of Mari that's still alive, still a great support for Sunny Amori, and is like actively helping him work through his shit through the translation layer of Headspace. Like, she is such a powerful, positive force in his life, even though she's literally not in it anymore, that his preserved version of her character is still like motivating enough to help him get through things, both in Headspace and in reality, because it's clearly her talking us through the nightmare sections. Remember what I said about developing your relationship with someone you've lost, even after you've lost them. I think that's what's going to heal us. Oh. It's a little home. What is this? Dirty wardrobe. You found dead batteries. An unmade bed. Something stares at you from the other side of the screen. There's a little Basil ghost in there. I still don't know what the heck is up with Basil. What does he know? What did he do, and what does he know? Have you seen my grandson? Oh, it's Granny. Okay. Are these all kind of the same? Yeah, they are. Nothing in the drawer. It looks like my friends. Where are they? Is it possible that like Headspace is starting to break down a little bit in terms of like logic, if there was any? Because Sunny is healing. He's going outside. He's hanging out with Hero. He's reminded of, you know, things outside of home. Potentially the battle for like reality versus Headspace is about to begin. Like, I could see this being a turning point as Sunny begins to grow an attachment to reality and heal a little bit. So too does the pull of Headspace deepen and become either more chaotic or more attractive to stay in. Could go either way with it. Especially as we learn more about what the fuck we're all so traumatized about. Omori, it seems you've forgotten something important. Are you okay with that? No. I mean, Omori probably is, but Brady's not. Not Sunny Brady, the actual Brady. I'm not okay with it. I'm not too sure. You've seen this curtain once before. The last time we went to the lake. This is my stop, though. I know I shouldn't have come. It just gets a little lonely without everyone. It's not my place to say anymore, but I hope you're still there, Brady. Oh, what? I really miss you. What? Goodbye, little brother. Guess we're going into the vortex here. What is happening? Is this actual headspace or is this like a dream headspace? Like pocket dimension? We're going deep. Very deep. A bit. Hey, where's my cat? I don't want a frog. Five keys left. Okay, we got our M. Yes, we want to look into the hole. Yeah, I guess what happens when headspace becomes more and more of a stressor than a way of avoiding stress in reality? I feel like our two worlds are about to come into contention. I also see the visual of Mari, like, losing her color. Kind of being like that little bit of awareness that Sunny has that Omori is not really him. Just by the fact that he exists in his own unknown square of the Johari window. He knows he's not really Omori. Omori knows he's not really Sunny. If he had any critical thinking skills, which we don't know, he doesn't talk, he would be able to see that, like, the logic of this world around him does not make sense. That it's, like, clearly built to specification for him. I feel like Mari losing her color and saying goodbye is, like, also his awareness, Omori's awareness, that she doesn't belong here either. That the version of her we've held here is somehow connected to the version of her we've lost. There's some awareness seeping in from Sunny's world into Omori's world, which I don't think Omori likes. Because the whole point of this is that it's like a fantasy of when things were okay. The Lane's carpool only kid. Come back when you've got friends. You gonna dog me for that? I'm gonna go somewhere cool. You should go to the Last Resort. It's the hottest, trendiest place to be these days. I can take you there if you want. It's all the rage. Okay, I'm ready to rage. Don't be shy, don't bite. Yeah, sure. I'll get in a stranger's car. I'm ready to rage! A little bumpy, but not all that bad. Okay. And this highway. Okay. Well, what the fuck is happening here, Kel? Explain this. Hey, Omori, there you are. Where have you been, buddy? While you were gone, everyone got tricked into signing contracts. So we all have jobs now. What the fuck is this? What kind of fantasy is this world? What do you mean we have jobs? We're going up so fast. My job is to point people to the Last Resort. That's where I work. What? What do you mean work? There it is. But I gotta say, this job thing isn't all it's cut out to be. What was it cut out to be? It's a job. They all suck. So why don't we get everyone to quit and get the heck... Yes. Now this is a mission I can get behind. Hero's been traveling a lot for work lately. What do you mean lately? How long has this been going on? But I know for sure that Aubrey's working on the 5th floor of the Last Resort. Our mission is to quit work. That's real. This looks like a job for Aubrey. Okay, yeah. I need to smash some stuff up. You with the stoic expression. Do you want some fresh milk? From the Sea Cow Farms. It's the freshest milk and will be refreshing for only 500 clams. Yeah, sure. I'll cough up 500 for some milk. It's the freshest. All right. Wait a second. These guys all want to sell me shit. I bet milk isn't even worth 500 clams. 100 clams? This is all a scam. Once in a lifetime offer. All right, I'm starting to see what this is all about. Work, this fucking theme park environment. this is like the avoidance mechanism of prepare for growing up. This is what it's like. You got to work all the time. Everyone's trying to scam you out of the measly amount of money that you're making from that work. Okay. This is Sunny's built-in mechanism to discourage him from growing up. And I agree with it 1,000%. Hey, Mari, look who finally decided to show up. Omori, it's so good to see you again. I think there's a part of us that knows, though. Yeah. Yeah. What is it, Omori? Aren't you happy to see your big sister? Yeah, but we know you're not. We know you're not. That's just Omori being Omori. You can't blame him for the way he looks. Ooh, and it's like, it's almost like because they're all fabrications of our brain, that they will mold to be agreeable to our own delusions. As in like the canon that that's just how we are, would just update itself to fit the present feelings that we have, which are like, I'm no longer comforted by this version of Mari because I know it's not real. Anyway, as I was just saying, working pays the bills, but it's not very exciting. So me and Omori are going to go get Aubrey and Hero, and then we're going to find Basil? No, we're going to quit work. Oh yeah, that's what we were going to do. Always happy to help. Let me know if you need anything else, okay? Yeah. Don't worry about it, Mari. The boss loves me. We'll be in and out of the last resort real quick. No problem. Okay, if you say so, go. Come on, Omori. I can't wait for you to meet the boss. He's awesome. Some raw seafood. Yeah, sure. Dig in. Okay. Let's check this place out. This is a good joke. What a good freaking joke. Okay. Got another joke. Got some toilet ramen. You know, we're just revisiting the classics here. Gator guy. Okay. Your kid's on vacation. You're here on this, one of the staff. With all this construction going on, they can at least invest in some uniforms. How about paying a livable wage to start? Do you want to go in the haunted pool? Yeah, sure. What the heck? This is like a whole fucking adventure in this pool. Ghost party. Headspace is just getting weirder and weirder. Okay, we already had our feast. What's this? Doesn't seem I can interact with the hat. Oh, yes, I can. My goodness, what impeccable timing. I seem to have found myself in quite the predicament. I've sent letters to a number of acquaintances asking them to attend this elegant feast of mine. But as of this moment, not a single invitee has made an appearance. Not one! This is preposterous. A lesser ghost would be enraged. But my finer senses tell me that they may have simply become lost on the way here. You see, when I sent out my invitations, I had forgotten to include directions to the venue. Being a true gentleman and host, I refused to start this party until all of my guests have arrived. Would you be so kind as to help my guests find their way? Yeah. Here are some maps with directions to my party. Okay. 6 spooky maps. Okay, I can do that. You can bring your friends here. Okay, 4 keys left. And text seemed a little bit disheveled. Welcome to Black Space. What is Black Space? So, once again, I will rely on the powers of therapeutic deduction. White space is the beginning of Omori's life, because it said For however long you've been alive, this is where you are, or something like that. You've been here for as long as you can remember. Living here, it said. White space is the beginning of Omori's life. It's where he wakes up from. And if black space is some sort of inversion of white space, then to me that says it is the end of Omori's life. Welcome to black space. Could be the last thing that Omori ever hears, if Welcome to White Space was the first thing he ever heard. I think there could be something to that. I'm Jash of many talents and master of many trades. I'll tell you what, you make a good first impression, Jash. I'm ready to buy whatever you're selling. Poetry book. Rain cloud. That's pretty good. I'll take 2 of those. I feel like those come in handy. Do I have anything to sell, Jash? No, he doesn't sell. Look, that's why Jash is... that's why he's making out pretty good on the Clam economy. He only sells. He doesn't buy. Fair prices. Decent selection. Doesn't keep junk inventory. I think Jash is making it out clean. All right, let's check out what's in this hole. Black space. Oh, this is like a black space. Videotape labeled Basil. Do you want to pick it up? Yes. I'm curious what the other one was. God damn it. All right, well, I guess we'll commit to it. All right. Let's talk about Basil for a second. My working theory has been that Sunny found Mari's body after she died, and that would be enough to traumatize him and cause all of this. I do not think that that is a reasonable enough connection to explain all of this. Not to say that it by itself shouldn't be traumatizing enough to cause all of this. It totally could be. But Basil's traumatized. Like, visibly, maybe even more than Omori is, or Sunny. And Basil is definitely involved somehow. Her Aubrey making some kind of connection about what you did. My next deduction would be like, Basil saw Mari die, and Sunny found found them. But Aubrey said something to the effect of like, after what you did, she blames him for something. Basil is also like somehow trauma bonded to Sunny. The way that he sort of watches Sunny go around and is like having this panic attack knowing that Sunny is leaving, to me that says like kind of like bearing the weight of whatever he saw, whatever happened with Mari that he was present for or something, is sort of sharing the weight with Sunny. And if Sunny were to suddenly leave, Basil's all alone with all of that. has been alone with all that for some years since Sunny's been inside, but this feels different, Sunny moving away. It's enough that it's put Basil in a pretty extreme state of mind. So I think that they were present, which would also be enough to me to say that, like, clearly Basil has not suppressed this. Basil is like thinking about it, reliving it, living constantly with the traumatic echo of whatever he saw or experienced. Sunny has completely suppressed it, though. Could just be that, you know, it being his sibling, he's obviously closer to her. It's more traumatic to lose a sibling. So I'm thinking that's where I'm at now. Is I think they must have seen it. They must have seen it happen, and it must have been a particularly bad thing. I don't know. Okay, let's check out some of the area here. Value customer, welcome to my shop. Please buy something. Everybody wants my clams. This place is a scam. It's a clam scam, guys. That's what it is, okay? It's one big clam scam. It's not as if, you know, I spend my days working hard for my clams and then I get to sort of like keep them, okay? And invest them, create generational wealth for, I guess, no one, because I'm going to stay a child forever in this reality. I don't get to keep my clam. I'm scrounging for clams. I've got 499 clams, and everything costs like at least 100 clams. Except for literally rotten milk. I mean, I don't think that the clam economy is in shambles. I think this is a clam scam. I think that they work you to your bones for a measly pittance of clams. That's just enough to get you to buy into life-saving resources like juice and hearts and whatever else that we need to survive out here. But it's not enough to like subsist uncomfortably. It's not enough to ever like stop having to work. It's just enough to keep you in check, okay? With maybe a little hope that you'll be free someday from the endless grind of working life. But ultimately, if you want anything in this life, it's going to come at the cost of clams, and more clams than you have, unfortunately. So you'll always be on the ladder. You'll always be 2 steps behind someone else. Maybe even someone who, you know, gets more clams for less work. What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Someone's always going to have more clams, and it's never going to be you. That's how I'm feeling right now, with my tiny little coin purse of only 499 clams, which is only barely enough to keep me alive for 1 full cycle of labor, so that I can earn another pittance of clams to survive the next cycle of labor. This is actually a nightmare. This needs to be dismantled immediately. We're gonna tear it all down, okay? I won't stand for it. I won't stand for this clam sham economy. Last resort, full of fat cats with deep clam pockets. What do we got here? Nose goes. Yeah, I bet is he the clam holder? Is he at the top of this, or is he another grunt? I think he's just a grunt. A money machine. That's what I am. I'm just a money machine for these fucking fat cats. What the heck? What is this? What is this? Why am I being watched? What are you doing in here? You're in a breach of contract. Look, pal. You really don't want to start with me, man. I'm feeling clam starved, and I've got a sharp weapon with me. That makes me double dangerous. Kel is playing slots. Kel! Kel, what are you doing? He's losing me. Clams! I need to get this kid out of here. We're literally bleeding clams. Kel. Why are you like this in Headspace? Can you be like real world, Kel? Why are we internalizing him like this? 400 clams I got back. Okay. I'll tell you what, I certainly don't make the most clams out of fucking working. I get it from slashing. I hope you're enjoying yourselves at the last resort. Please let me know if you need anything. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what I need. I need way more clams than I have right now. Cal's playing slots. Lost 9. Cal! Get your fucking head in the game. Stop wasting clams. At least win. Like your brother Hero can. I bet if Hero was here, he'd be fucking killing the slots. All I know is that the slots don't give nearly as much clams as slashing up these gators. 400 clams a piece. That's pretty dependable income if you ask me. Today I accidentally bumped into one of the staff. So she called me a nincompoop and headbutted me across the room. Who knew headbutts could hurt so bad? I sure didn't. That must be Aubrey. I think they booked the wrong bus. Okay. This joint just ain't cut out like these folks are making it out to be. I want my clams back, you hear? Pinkbeard, why don't you join my little fucking cadre of clam-starved children with dangerous weapons? Okay? We can upend this place and have infinite clams. This is as far as you go. Mr. Jawsome is not going to be happy to see you again. I don't even know who that is, bro. You literally are about to get stabbed up. You're about to be turned into a pile of clams. That's literally all you are to me. Oh shit, boy. Kel won 171 clams. All right, Kel, if you can keep that luck up, we'll be in good shape. You'll get more than a participation trophy for that. I'll even give you a clam bonus. 600 clams from that gator. Okay. Do you want to play slots? No, I do not fucking gamble. You win some, you lose some. At least that's what one would expect. Not me, though. I just lose all the time. Dude, gambling is literally the stupidest fucking thing you can do with your money. And I'll tell you why, okay? Basic psychology. Your brain likes dopamine. It gets a lot of that when you win at the slot machine. It feels starved of it when you fail. Dopamine works in a cycle where it's built up when you are anticipating the outcome of a thing. So pulling on the slot machine and seeing the numbers go. Okay, there's usually some sort of action involved, which with a significant amount of effort concentrates the dopamine anticipation and leads to a big reward when you've used that effort. For example, like, you know, hunting down a beast. Dopamine would sort of motivate us with anticipation to go out and look for something to kill. It would take a lot of effort, this action, to kill the thing. And the reward was you got food and sustenance and leathers and various things important for your tribe for survival. And that reward, if it was great, incentivized you to do all this again. The thing is like, you can count on this as being a healthy motivation and reward track because the action's pretty substantial and there is a pretty clear expected value in like game theory terms, which is like, I know what I'm out to hunt. I know what the materials I'm going to get for it are. I know how much, you know, meat can feed me and all that sort of stuff, right? Your job sort of is like this, although it's still depressing because it is a job. But like, you anticipate your paycheck, you know when you're going to get paid, end of the week, end of the month, bi-weekly, whatever. You put together a series of actions over the course of that pay period, and then you get an expected value reward. If you're salaried, it's the same every time, and if you're hourly, you kind of know how much you're going to make based on how much you worked. This is like pretty functional and non-addictive as is. Where this becomes really bad for you and really stupid to participate in is when the expected value is random. Randomized rewards, okay? Gambling, slot machines, gacha games, microtransactions, loot boxes, all this shit, okay? There is no clear targetable reward that's consistent that you can determine the expected value on. And so your anticipation builds up that dopamine. There is no action, really, right? Because mostly you're swiping a credit card or pulling down on a slot machine. It's not a particularly effortful action. And so there's no like translation between, oh, I shouldn't do this all the time, or the reward feels really validating because of like the action I spent on it. Because the reward might be nothing. If you get nothing, then if you spent a lot of effort to get it, you're going to feel pretty empty, and that's not going to incentivize you to sort of go back through this. If there's no action required and you're just swiping and pulling and doing whatever, then you're basically just doing anticipation and reward. And when the reward is sort of random, you're much more likely to just sort of go back and forth. Honestly, let's cut out the anticipation. Let's just do the reward thing. Like, just put money in the machine and pull the thing. Spend money on the loot box, right? Like, the action that you perform, the series of tasks over several weeks to make that money, is not even related to the activity of spending, to the point that like it just becomes easy to just sort of get stuck in this loop of spending. If you have pretty decent self-control, great. You're probably not super influenced by this, but you know who is? Millions of people, and especially children. And you know who knows that? Companies know that. To maximize the randomized expected value loop that ultimately leads to compulsion. Now, of course, there are some games that, you know, do require some strategy. Poker and those sorts of things, and I still think it's a waste of your money unless you're a fucking expert at it. Generally, just like thing that is purely randomized, yeah, it's a waste of your time and money. I know that some gacha systems have percentages, like, you know, after a certain amount of pulls, there's like a 50% chance to get the thing, the character, whatever. And at some point, it's a guarantee, but that threshold between like, you know, 1 and 100 times you have to spend some sort of currency to get it is all just this. And you can anticipate getting, you know, the time in the middle of this where it works. And that's great. But at the same time, the only thing you can count on is like the guarantee. Okay. And I'm not like criticizing this from a moral high horse. All right. Like, I've played some gacha games, all right? I enjoy, you know, a little bit of a Honkai Star Rail from time to time. I just actually really like the turn-based combat, and the story is fun. But I'm under no misconceptions about what is happening to your brain when you're playing those things. And the other thing to consider is that I'm an adult, okay? If I want to waste my money on that, it's a little bit more understandable than a child, which many of these systems are designed to exploit, who don't have the mechanisms of self-control and moderation that some adults do. So I guess buyer beware. And just know what's happening to your brain. You know, you can do whatever you want, obviously, spend your money how you want, but you should know that it is designed for you to like struggle within that system. It is, otherwise it would be simpler. But we scientifically know how to get the brain to spend money over and over again with expected value. And just look how fucking miserable all of these people are. A liquidation sale. Yeah, how much? 491 cents. Get fucked, dude. I already bought 500 clams worth of 1 milk. Games for lucky and unlucky people. Yeah, it is just luck. Trying to count cards. Day in, day out, it's all the same. Whatever, it's a job, I guess. At least it would be if I ever got paid. So, like, what's up with this just being the most depressing part of the game so far? I mean, I know, like, all the other stuff has been pretty sad and depressing, but this is, like, morose. Man, I feel sick. Is this whole place spinning or is it just me? What's this guy selling? He's selling bottled water for 800 clams. Literally, the other guy was selling it for 400. Or maybe it's even the same guy. That might even be the same guy that I just walked around to twice. I miss my sisters back at the mustard sub. Another win for me. Today's my lucky day. Take these clams. I don't need them. I'm rich, and so are you. We got 100 clams. Yeah, that's a big part of it, right? When the rewards are randomized, like, not getting the reward is such a deficit of that emotional and dopamine release that we want to go back around in the loop. If you do get it, oh man, you're also motivated to go back around because of how, like, big the hit was. That's just sinister. I can't serve fruit juice to minors. At least there's one sane person walking around here. Kel's playing the slots. Lost 63 clams. Bro, I gotta get out of here. It's gonna bleed me dry, this kid. I'm aiming for those big wins today. Thinking positive. I always seem to find myself in precarious situations. I wonder if this counts. Yeah, you're in a fucking casino, man. 100 clams for a hot dog? No. You want to learn a fact about sharks and or pickles? I'll give you a combo meal. Yeah, sure. Hit me with the shark fact. Great. Here's what I know. Sharks don't have bones. We're actually made from human ears and noses. Wait a second. This is why I shouldn't speed through the... If you give me a combo meal... I thought he was giving me a combo meal. I literally gave him, like, one of the best items. I hate this place. This is the worst place to be. It's great for the game. It is hilarious that this is in here, but it is the most miserable place for a human. It is designed to prey on your impulsivity like nothing else. 3 keys left. There's a hole. Go into the hole? Yeah, let's go in the hole. Get me out of here. I'd rather be re-traumatized than be in this place. Maybe I spoke too soon. That's pretty disturbing. Well, I'll tell you what the real trauma is if I walk out of this place clamless. All right, I think I'm going to pause the episode here. I'm getting all worked up about this clam situation. I don't have my friends. I'm getting bled dry from my clams that I worked so hard for. They're all stuck in as wage slaves. Even like the safest person in my like sort of fantasy is I'm feeling strange about, because I'm starting to realize that she's not really there. Yeah, this place is gonna be tough. Okay, well, thank you everyone. Be safe, be mindful, and be good to yourself. I'll see you next time.